Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. Imagine a life where vulnerability isn't something to hide from, but a key to unlocking your greatest potential. In Daring Greatly, Brené Brown takes readers on a journey to redefine vulnerability, viewing it as a strength instead of a weakness. Grounded in 12 years of research, Brown dismantles the idea that showing up authentically or embracing uncertainty makes us weak. Instead, she argues it's the very thing that makes us courageous and ultimately deeply connected to others. Brown's work reveals that, for many of us, fear of judgment and failure keeps us from showing up as our true selves. Society conditions us to see vulnerability as a risk factor, a potential exposure to harm or ridicule. This belief, Brown explains, stifles creativity, holds us back from innovation, and builds walls in our relationships. She introduces the concept of wholehearted living, where vulnerability becomes a foundation for growth, resilience, and happiness. Rather than shaming ourselves for feeling vulnerable, Daring Greatly invites us to lean into it. The book is divided into powerful sections that tackle the role of vulnerability in areas like parenting, relationships, and the workplace. Brown illustrates her points through relatable anecdotes and scientific studies. She uncovers what she calls shame triggers, situations that make us feel inadequate and unworthy, and offers practical tools for recognizing and overcoming them. By addressing these triggers, Brown shows us that we're not alone in our insecurities, and more importantly, she provides a pathway to break free from them. A key takeaway from Daring Greatly is the understanding that vulnerability is not about winning or losing, but about showing up when you have no control over the outcome. It's about stepping into the arena, despite the risk of failure, and embracing the discomfort of being seen as you are. Brown challenges us to stop numbing our feelings, whether it's through distraction, perfectionism, or self-criticism, and instead to experience the full spectrum of human emotion. By doing so, we unlock our potential for compassion, empathy, and connection. In the workplace, Daring Greatly redefines leadership. Brown asserts that daring leaders foster environments where people feel safe to take risks and make mistakes. They don't rely on a culture of fear or perfectionism, but one of mutual respect and honesty. This shift not only boosts productivity but creates meaningful, engaged work environments where people can thrive. In her section on parenting, Brown shares how teaching children vulnerability helps them grow into resilient, confident adults. By encouraging them to be open about their fears and imperfections, we help them develop a strong sense of self-worth. Brown's advice to parents: teach children to be brave, to embrace the messy, unpolished parts of life, and to understand that mistakes don't define their worth. Ultimately, Daring Greatly is an invitation to live wholeheartedly, to dare to be seen for who we are, not just who we think the world wants us to be. It's a call to challenge the armor we wear, shed the perfectionism that holds us back, and take the leap into a life of deeper, more authentic connections. This book isn't just about daring greatly in big ways. It's about the small, daily choices to show up, to connect, and to be present, even when it feels uncomfortable. Because as Brown so powerfully reminds us, vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity.